using correct spellings. So just take it away.
Well, dear viewers, it's now that time when we get down to good English pronunciations on your favorite segment, Mind Your Language. I'm Willice Ochieng, and I begin with the words that I promised you about last week, and they are right here. The first group, the first one, you say laws. Laws, the plural of law, laws, with the long sound O and the voiced sound Z. Laws. Now, the second word, you say loss. Loss. That is L-O-S-S. Loss. And finally, you say lows. Lows. With a slight vowel glide O. Lows. The highs and the lows. That is the way to handle the last word in that group. Now, the second group. The first word, L-O-O-S-E, you say loose. Loose. Something is loose, not firm. Then the second word is a verb, L-O-S-E. You say lose, to lose something. And you also use the same pronunciation for the last word, that is L-O-O-S, the plural of loo. You also say lose, lose. So the last two words are spelled differently with different meanings, but are pronounced the same way. Technically, we call them homophones. Clear? Good. Now, let's get to our collections of the week. And the first word is right here, may you, or could you, make a try. Could you try to pronounce this one? If you said hospice, I give you a no in good faith because learning has no full stop. It's a word that is pronounced hospice. Hospice. And we are talking about a hospital for those who are dying or who are terminally ill. Hospice, not hospice. You also say novice. Novice, not novice. And you also say prejudice. Prejudice. Don't say prejudice. You get them clear? Or clearly? Great. Let's now get to our next word, which means large in amount or importance. Now, this one you say substantial. Substantial. Don't say substantial and don't say substantial. It's just substantial. That is the way to handle it. And remember, you also say substantially. Substantially. And you also say circumstantially. That is the way to pronounce them because the terminal part of those words could be tricky, but you use the weak sound that is assure, the weak vowel sound, surely, not sheerly, no glide. You get them right? Good. Now, let's get to a phrase that is borrowed from Latin, that is a phrase with a meaning not present. Not present while something is on, or the event that is being referred to. And you say in absentia, but you can also say in absentia. So sentia, acceptable. Sentia, also acceptable. So it has two acceptable, or if you like, two alternative pronunciations. In absentia, in absentia. That is the way to handle this phrase, which is from Latin. Clear? Good. Now, let's get to the next word. The next word is talking about a violent storm with very strong winds. Now, you say tornado, tornado. Don't say tornado. Tornado, very common but inaccurate. You say tornado. That is the pronunciation, dear viewers. And we go to the next one. And the next one is a bit common but tricky. You may have heard somebody saying prio. Prio. Prioritize. No. You say prior. Prior. Before something. Prior to something. That is the way to pronounce this word. Otherwise, let's get to the next one, which is also fairly common, but a bit tricky for many people. The process of moving into a different country from your own country. That is, the process of moving into a different country from your own, and you stay there permanently. You say Immigration. Don't say immigration. Immigration, no. Immigration, and you also say immigrant. Immigrant, immigration. You get that clearly? Good. Now, let's get to another word which we have for you for this week, and it's right here. It's an adjective, and it means very dirty or filthy. You say squalid. Squalid. Don't say squalid. Squalid, no. Squalid. Squalid refugee camps, not squalid refugee camps. Squaw. Squaw, no. Squaw. Clear? Good. Now, for the last three words, dear viewers, they are common, but many people find themselves innocently mispronouncing them. So I want us to try, but very fast. This one, how do you say it? I know somebody somewhere said lounge. Lounge, no. You say lounge. Lounge with a vowel glide, if you like, the diphthong. A diphthong is a glide on two vowel sounds. You say lounge. Let's get to the next one. It's right here. Can you say it? Very common. You say fridge. Fridge. I know somebody somewhere may have used the long sound E. Fridge. Fridge, very common. Get me something from the fridge. But that is not the way to pronounce this word. You say fridge. Fridge with a short sound E. Fridge. That is the way. Just like bridge. The bridge, not the bridge. Bridge, fridge. A bit tricky, but manageable. Let's get to the last one. And can you try? Compass, no. I give it a no. That O in this word takes the mid-central sound a. Compass. A pair of compasses, not compasses. No. Compass, compasses. So, you don't say compass. But I know there may be some kind of confusion when we talk about universities. When we have C, A, M, P, U, S. Now that A takes what we call the low front sound A. Campus. Main campus. But for direction and all that, compass. Compass. Just like F-A-N. Fan. Fan. F-U-N. Fun. Fun. And people usually, or they usually, confuse those two words. F-A-N, fan. Supporter, a follower. F-U-N, that which makes you get amused. F-U-N. So don't say soccer, funds. Funds, F-U-N, don't use it. For followers, you use F-A-N. We are learning, and you are watching Mind Your Language only on KTN. Now, let's get to our words that are from those who always view KTN with that passion. Keep it up, because I have Edwin Kipngeno of Eldoret. You say camel. Camel for that animal. Camel, not camel. Camel is what we see in spelling, but you pronounce it as camel. Then your second word, renaissance. Renaissance, tricky. Lastly, curriculum. So Edwin Kipngeno of Eldoret, that is the way to go or to handle those words. Kevin Maina, aka Jumbo. I'll use Jumbo because that is how it is said locally, but normally J-U-M-B-O, you say Jumbo, just like Jumbo Jet. But for a name, you say Jumbo. Jumbo. You get it right. Just like meme. Meme. M-E-M-E, meme. But as a name locally, we say so-and-so is called meme. But in English, as a word, you say meme. That is the way to go. Now, Kevin Maina, you say all. All. A-W-L, that tool, the sharp one, for piercing, or when you handle leather, you say an awl. Awl with the long sound O. A-W-L, just like A-L-L. But O-W-L, you say owl, an owl for that bird. Now, G. Silas of Meru City, you say weary. Weary, to be very tired. Weary. W-E-A-R-Y. W-A-R-Y, to be careful or cautious, you say wary. But W-O-R-R-Y, you say worry, to worry. So, get them right. Patrick Mwangi of Muranga, dexterous. Your second word, business. The third one, obnoxious. Obnoxious. Then lastly, camaraderie. Mwangi, get that right. Now, Tung Walmut, currently in Gambela, Ethiopia. The first word. I know many people say thwart. To thwart the other team's efforts. No, you thwart. Thwart, don't thwart. Thwart, just like warthog. Warthog, not warthog. Warthog, no. Warthog, and you also say to thwart some threat or an invasion. Don't say to thwart, no. Then your second word, gigantic. Gigantic. Then we have Abuto S of Migori County. You say wretched. A wretched child. A wretched boy. A wretched girl. Don't say wrecked girl. That W-R-E-T-C-H-E-D is pronounced wretched. Then we have Fidel or Fidel Otieno of Nairobi. You say didn't. Didn't. So both D's are pronounced didn't. That is the short form or contraction of did not. You say didn't. So many people, we find ourselves saying didn't. But please, the best way to pronounce that contraction or short form is didn't. Didn't you do this? So get it right. Alfred Mwendaga of Mwatate Taita Taveta, you say miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Don't say miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, very common. You don't file a miscellaneous application in a court of law. You file miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Tricky but manageable. Now, Mark Karani Tabu of Mbale Vihiga County, you say matriarch. A matriarch. Matriarchy, not matriarch. Matriarch. And you also say patriarch, not patriarch. Now, we have Rebecca Luyali of Nairobi and Sylvia Sang of Molo. Heroin. Heroin. But remember that when we are talking about that hard or illegal drug, you don't use an E. It ends in N. H-E-R-O-I-N. Heroin, the drug. But when you talk about a female hero, you still say heroin, but you have an E after that N. So it's H-E-R-O-I-N-E for a female hero. But the pronunciation, heroin, just like the drug. Clear? Those ones are also called homophones. So you're watching Mind Your Language, and you'll get them right until the time that maybe you'd be tired with English. But you can't be tired with learning. Eh? You cannot be tired of something or tired with something. But anyway, let's carry on. So this is who? We have Mwalimu Yusuf Shale of Garissa. Yusuf Shale of Garissa. Mwalimu, you say determine, to determine. Don't say determine or determine. Then the second one, determined. I'm determined to achieve this. Determined, not determined. Avoid that. Mwalimu Vidija Dalizu of Eldoret. You say hiatus. Hiatus. Then Charles Menge, champagne. Mwalimu Fred Oganga, you say anger. Anger, not anger. Carol K. Luther, yacht. That leisure boat is a yacht, not yacht. And the spelling is Y-A-C-H-T, not Y-A-T-C-H. So get it right. Timothy Mugo, you simply say Cuba for that country. Cuba. Maybe the locals may be using Cuba, but you say Cuba. Anyway, Abu Amni of Lamu, Robert Soita Waliaula, Engineer Simon Ndungu Kimani, Dr. Riako Onyango of Kisumu, Emily Wamutwiri, Samuel Muriuki, a.k.a. Mabruki Kuchi. Well, keep it up, because you only get all these on KTN. Now, Jack Zuma Otiende of Ojola Kisumu, you say dual. Dual, and then we say fuel. Fuel or fuel. Don't say fuel. Fuel, no. Fuel or fuel. That is the way to pronounce that word. Then Isaiah, if you like, Isaiah Otemba of Nairobi, you say divide. Then divisive. Divisive. Don't say divisive. Divisive, no. Divisive. You also say decisive. Decisive, not decisive. And then lastly, your last word you say conscience. Conscience. Don't say conscience. We have science, but don't say conscience. It's conscience. Now, Caleb or Deeper of Homa Bay, you say infamous. Infamous, minuscule, and your last word, prohibition. Prohibition. You don't pronounce that H. Prohibition. Tricky. Now, we have Abdi Nasir A. Farah, Isaac Imbwaga, J.B. Watt Rotich. My dear sister, keep it up because this is Mind Your Language. J.B. Watt Rotich. James Karatu Geita or Giita, Lois Kambi of Voi, and Beldina Mwita of Tarime, Tanzania. Our brothers and sisters in Tanzania, a salute for you. Keep it up. Now, we have Daphne Kemunto, Daphne Fred Kebe. Kebe, I believe this is a name from Kisii now. Fred Kebe and Josek Manani of Hema, Kisii. I'm right, or I was right just in a few seconds. But Daphne Kemunto, Fred Kebe, and Josek Manani of Hema, Kisii, you say thesaurus. Thesaurus. Don't say thesaurus. Thesaurus, no. Thesaurus. Just like Taurus. You don't say Taurus. We find ourselves using Taurus in pronunciation, but that is wrong. You say Taurus, thesaurus. Then the second word, you say conceptual. Conceptual. Just like to conceptualize. You get that? Good. Now, Dennis Kalali of Nairobi, we have the adverb anyhow. Anyhow. Don't say anyhowly. That suffix "ly" is not there. It's simply anyhow. And that is when you are keen on the right words to use, that is in the English vocabulary. Anyhow. Nothing like anyhowly. No. Then you also have somehow. Somehow. Not somehowly. Just avoid those ones. And avoid saying repeat again. To repeat again. Just say repeat. Don't add again. You say or do something again, but you repeat, which means to do or say something again. You get that? So don't repeat. It's repetitive to say repeat again. Just like when you say to return back. Just say return or come or go back. Return is simply return. Don't add back. That would be repetitive. We are learning. Anyway, let's get to the next person. Here is George Ombwak of Siaya. You can say opportunity. Opportunity. But you can also say opportunity. There is no problem. Opportunity and opportunity. Both are acceptable. Then, lastly, John Washira Mburu of Nyahururu. You say the days. Standing on the days. Don't say standing on the dais. Dais, no. Dais, avoid that. When you have D-A-I-S, just call it the days. Then your second word, you also say liaise. To liaise or to liaise. Don't say to liaise. To liaise, no. Liaison, no. Liaison or liaison, that is acceptable. Liaison, no. Then lastly, you say purpose. The purpose. Don't say purpose, 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 no. Purpose. That is the way to handle them. You get them right? Great. Now, let's get to our surprise word for tonight. When we talk about a vertical pole that supports something, don't say stanchion. Stanchion is what our eyes see, but that I is not pronounced. It's silent. You say stanchion. Stanchion. Just like a friend. Do we say friend? No. Friend? No. It's friend. My friend. You also say parliament. Parliament, not parliament. That I is not pronounced. So for our surprise word for tonight, you say stanchion. Stanchion. That is the way. Now, let's get to confusing words. The first one is tricky, dear viewers. C-H-I-C. You say chic. Chic. Elegant. Very smart. Very good at, or very, very attractive. Chic. That's an adjective. But when you use it as a noun to mean a lady who has dressed in a very wonderful way, you also use the sounding chic. Chic. So don't say chic. Chic is for the second word. That is C-H-I-C-K. Chic. Chic. Then lastly, you say cheek. My cheek. So cheek, chick, chic, tricky. But you get them right here on KTN. Now, we have spelling matters. That is words that are tricky in spelling. And this word is common, but many people in pronunciation, they find themselves saying bizarre. Bizarre incident, thinking that it's B-I-Z-Z-A-R-E, which is wrong. That is, the lower spelling is wrong. The right word in the English vocabulary is the upper one. So, you spell it as B-I-Z-A-R-R-E, and you say bizarre, bizarre. Right spelling, the pronunciation is bizarre. Clear? Good. Now, let's get to the much asked about words and be a bit keen or very attentive. The first word, loyalty. Loyalty, not loyalty. No, loyalty. The second word, royalty. Royalty, not royalty. The third one, you say certainty. Certainty or certainty. Don't say certainty. The last one, you say uncertainty. Uncertainty or uncertainty. But please, don't say uncertainty. Uncertainty, no. So, niti does not exist. You have nti. Loyalty, royalty, certainty or certainty, and lastly, uncertainty or uncertainty. Don't say niti. Niti, no. Avoid that in good English. Now, let's get to our phonetic or sound symbols for tonight. We have that short sound U. U. Just like in the word look. Look. The word book or cook. Or let me begin with the right word. The first one, book. You can hear the way I'm pronouncing the word. Book, not book. Book, my book, no. Book. Second one, cook. To cook, not to cook. Third one, look. Look, not to look. So the symbol is right here. The phonetic or the sound symbol looks like this. So remember, when you're checking a good dictionary or a dictionary for the pronunciation of any word and you happen to see this symbol, just remember it is the short, high back sound O. And you get them right here. So let's also remember that next week something big will be there. So we hear a lot, and I want you to help me here, dear viewers. Can you say the upper part? It's letter C. When you say C, that is the name by which this letter is identified or called in the English alphabet. C, that is its name. Then, when you take the sound, we hear a lot of letter C sound K, like in cat, cat. But let me ask you a question tonight, because we are learning, and nobody, not even Willice, is perfect, but we learn. So when we say letter C, sound K for cat, how about if a learner is not told about anything else, and the learner gets the word center? With that feeling, that letter C takes sound K. So center, what will center be? Center, letter C sound K. You may find somebody saying Kenta. And then if it's letter C, sound K, then we have this word. The person may say official. Official, Kenta, innocently. That is why we have to learn letters and their sound values. Some letters in the English alphabet have more than one sound value. They are pronounced in more than one way. But please, next week, right from next week, you'll love it, because we have 26 letters in the English alphabet. We'll cover them for you only on Mind Your Language, and the station is KTN. Otherwise, you can also interact with me throughout the week, and that is on Twitter. On Twitter, the handle is at Willice Ochieng 1. At Willice Ochieng 1, and it's that time when I have to thank you most sincerely for the privilege of your time and the pleasure of your company. Remember, my cameraman, as usual, has been Fred Moturi. It's time now back to Nairobi, that powerful Friday briefing team. Over to you.
Well, many thanks, Willice the Word Master. Always appreciate the lessons that we take to heart, even as we continue in this journey, especially in communication.
Definitely. Well, that's how we wrap things up officially. Thank you very much for joining us all through the 2 hours. I am Ashley Missouri.
And I'm Jesse Rogers.
And definitely we're not alone. Our sign language interpreter is Marisha Witi, and would like to thank our entire crew. Have a good night.
Good night.